everyone, Bart here, or you can just call me Sully. If you haven't known by now, I love the Berenstain Bears. They have great life lessons, timeless situations, and relatable and fun characters through their books, TV series, and CD-ROMs. And sparked up an unnecessary and dumb controversy that I have no part in and refuse to say otherwise. That is until finding out that one of the creators, Stan Berenstain, went through a similar problem with one of his teachers, which makes sense with the controversy. Though why it wasn't mentioned earlier, or more so why it's mentioned at all, is beyond me. But regardless, the Bears' first introduction to animation before their TV series and CD-ROM games was their TV specials from the late 70s and early 80s. And their fifth special was not only their first non-holiday special, but it's also their last special before moving on to their first series. The Berenstain Bears Play Ball. Springtime has arrived in Bear Country, and the Bear family spend their time outdoors. But Sister Bear's having trouble getting Papa Bear's attention when she does anything to impress. Yet when the newspaper arrived, Papa gets his eye fixated on the upcoming Little League baseball game, and sees Brother Bear more as a professional baseball player than as a son. And with developing an obsession known as Little League fever, Papa pressures Brother into becoming the next baseball-playing superstar, worrying his son, while Sister gets upset at Papa for not just giving her any attention, but not letting her become the next baseball star, as he said that baseball is not for girls. After going over the previous Berenstain Bears specials, this one is pretty much fine. There's nothing too weird about it, but there's also nothing too charming about it. The first special, the Berenstain Bears Christmas Tree, is simply charming and delightful. It has many heartfelt moments, memorable and great songs, and feels very merry, funny, and enjoyable. The second special, the Berenstain Bears Meet Big Paw, is pretty much okay. It has crazy animation and a whole lot of story going on, but with watching it more, the stuff I found alright, like the songs, are more good when seeing them again. But overall, the special's still fine. The third special, the Berenstain Bears Easter Surprise, is another good one. Not as great as Christmas Tree, but still nice for its songs and the silly and awkward animation that I enjoy. And the fourth special, the Berenstain Bears Comic Valentine, is the weakest of the specials. It all feels very underwhelming, uncomfortable, and so crazy and odd that I had a hard time enjoying it, for the way the females and animation act within the holiday itself, plus the songs are forgettable. Yet this special is somewhere in between Easter Surprise and Meet Big Paw. Overall, it's a fine special, and the good moments are worth mentioning. For one thing, I like how Sister Bear not only tries to get her father's attention, but also proves that she can do and wants to do more than what Papa thinks, which is demonstrated through her song. There's the concept of Little League fever, which when someone's obsession with the Little League baseball season goes into bragging and pressuring how great his or her kid will do in the game and become a big star. Of course, in this case, it's the fathers getting the fever, which worries their sons, which is pretty understandable, as it all leads to a lesson on what baseball is really meant to be for a kid, having fun. And it's all done through the nicely made, yet occasionally crazy animation that I'd come to enjoy in these specials. But there are certain problems that keep the special from being good altogether. One is with the songs. Yes, they do showcase them with good animation and the opening song is slightly catchy, but the rest aren't too catchy or memorable as the previous specials. The other bit, and it's a troubling one for me, is the ending. After Papa learns that baseball should be fun for kids when seeing the boys' secret baseball field where they go play, he lets them play and then practice on the real field, and also brings in Sister to play along, and by the time the big Little League game starts, the special ends. Yeah, Sister and Brother are on the field, Papa says his last line, his eyes glow stars, and then the credits happen. Like, why did it stop there? I get that this special is more about Papa learning a lesson not to put pressure on Brother and to let him have fun, while also giving Sister some attention on what she can do, but this is just too sudden of an ending, where the other specials ended fine. So, why not show the game and show what Brother and Sister can do? It's a pretty odd way to wrap up a story like this. However, there is a bit of a notion going on in the special, in that it's somewhat sexist, especially for a family-friendly show. Sister Bear tries to prove that she can do the stuff boys can do, and occasionally show to do them better. But Papa backs her down by stating that boys can only play baseball, and girls are only good at playing jump rope, jacks, and dolls. But of course, when Sister does show she's good at baseball, Papa gets Little League fever again, but with seeing his daughter as the start of female baseball players. Looks like somebody forgot that women played baseball during World War II when the men were at war. It does create a sort of uneasy feeling whenever stuff like this is mentioned, and how it compares to nowadays with females becoming more role models and being more recognized. I sometimes don't know how to feel about when coming from an 80s television special about a family of bears dealing with the timeless problems of life that both adults and kids can easily understand, yet has a small step at gender inequality with the father too focused on his son and his daughter. I don't know, it unnerves me just thinking about it, so let's just wrap it up before I think too much about it. As a whole, this special is fine. The characters are good, the story is alright, the animation is nice, and the songs are okay. Directors Al Kuzel and Mordecai Gerstein have made an okay Berenstain Bears special that, while not a holiday special, is interesting despite it being the last special before the first TV series 2 years later. And while I appreciate it for certain moments like Sister Bear wanting to be noticed and Papa Bear's Little League Fever, it also has bits that are sort of weak, in particular with the ending, and the songs not being very memorable. However, it's not as crazy as Comic Valentine, or charming as Christmas Tree, or good as Easter Surprise, but just as fine as Meet Big Paul. It may not be a favorite of mine, but it's definitely okay as is. So today, this special will be given a rating of 2.5 plus stars. So thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook or Twitter, support me on Patreon, and until next time for a new video.